So the topic is time management and productivity in the digital age. So you're gonna talk about four general summaries, four general topics: the philosophy of time. This is important matters to talk about, understanding very well what it means time and what you have to face on these new times of life, like this digital era. Then the techniques, it's like how to apply this information into the real life and what kind of techniques of tools, what we can use for time management. And then how we can use the new developments, Gen AI as a digital assistant for help us to be more productive or use these techniques in a better way. And finally, with a visual time management tool that's it's going to be useful to share to everyone here to see different ways to do a time management. So I want to start with the question about what is the real value of time. And I would love to ask you, everyone, don't need to answer me here, but what is your hourly rate average? And maybe you will say, I don't know, $50 per hour, $100 per hour, or even $2,000 per hour. And my question is really this amount of money the value of your time? Because I think we usually think and say to everyone the time is money, right? But I will say maybe we are valuing the time very cheaply. And that's because we think we have a lot of time. We don't face the idea that we're gonna die someday. And just think about a moment. You realize that the idea that you're gonna die, and just make a question. I know this is quite hard, but just ask the question. Why not end with your life right now? For sure, you're starting to answering and figuring out that you have more reasons that why you are living for, and probably doesn't have to be related with money. So probably time means much more than money, and this is really important to understand how we can manage our time, how to be more successful in your objectives and also be more happy. Because we're gonna spend a lot of time making money, but maybe we are giving this value time too cheap. So the other thing that we have to face on these new times is the idea that we don't have enough time. And this is the scary part about time management. It's like the truth, the raw truth about this is that we have fear to make the wrong choices. We have fear of missing out. That's the truth. In the past, our grandparents have less time than we have now. They have to make too many things manual by hand that we can do it in seconds. For example, just making the food. They have to cultivate it, they have to transform it and cook it. Now we can use an app and order food by internet, and we're gonna have it in 15 minutes, 20 minutes as much. So in the modern life, we have a lot of free time, much time than our grandparents or grandparents. The curious thing is that our grandparents never complain about they don't have time. This is a problem of these generations, the digital generations. And it's because we have fear of missing out. We have a lot of time, but also we have a lot of things to do. Too many activities, too many things happen. We have Netflix. We have different activities with the internet. We can access to too many activities, events like this. We don't want to miss that. So that's the thing. We have fear to miss something and make wrong decisions. So the best way to avoid the reality to make a decisions and deal with the consequences is say, I don't have time. I don't have enough time. We don't have time. And the thing is, if we want to move forward, we need to assume that every decision that we make about time, we have to assume that the consequences and live with that. Live with choice. Don't lose the fear of choice. We're gonna miss a lot of things for sure, but we're gonna have to deal with that. And the best way, learn how to do it, how to pick the best choices about time. So that's what I want to share the beginning, just to understand that time management is more about productivity, is more about control the time, be precise and use the schedule and these tools very accurate. It's more about understanding what really matters and the consequences of the things that we spend time, the activities where we are spending time. So what is the techniques for time management that we have? I'm going to start with this. I think it's one of the biggest concepts about how to manage different tasks in these times. And it's a great concept. It's getting things done. And so there are 5 stages, very easy to understand and very easy to apply. So the first one, maybe a lot of people that are saying this presentation know about that, but it's really good to go into the details. So the first one is capture the information, typical that everyone do a to-do list. A to-do list with all the things that you have to do, put it into a document. You can use an app, whatever you want. Just make a list, because keep all the ideas, keep all the tasks that you have to do in your mind. It's overwhelming. And probably in certain point, you're going to miss out something. So the best way to clean your mind and have more clarity is put in a paper, put in a document. And with that, you're going to notice how many things do you have to do. But then you have to clarify. And I love this Eisenhower matrix because it's the key to organization, especially to organize your life. That is very simple. There is 4 slots. And the idea is to organize what is important and urgent, what we need to do immediately, what we need to do now. And this kind of task is gonna go into the top of the list. Then, what is this really important? What is not urgent to do it right now? What is this kind of task that our life doesn't depend of that? So we're gonna put it there. And these tasks are gonna go in to the plan and prioritization, and to the schedule and for planning, and so on. The next one is very exciting. I love that. is what is urgent, what is not important. And this is opportunity to delegate. This is really, really important in a job environment, in a work environment. When you have a leadership position, you have to learn how to delegate, how to trust in others to give you this opportunity to do the things that is necessary to do. Because you can be the hero, you can solve everything by yourself. In certain point, you're gonna experience burning out, and the rest of your team doesn't gonna have the same involvement into the project. And if you are in not a leading position, probably I hope that you are not the person that always say yes that everyone told you to do. Because at the end you're gonna have too many tasks to do because you always say yes and you are not capable to say no. So it's important to understand how many tasks you can do and how many tasks you cannot do, to have a clear communication with your managers and your teammates to explain, hey, I can do this, but I cannot do the other thing. Or I can do it, but later, because this is not urgent, because this is not important. However, whatever. And this is a skill we need to learn to avoid this overwhelming or burnout in certain point of our life. And the last one is kind of those tasks that are not important and not urgent. Sometimes, and we're gonna notice when we put this task in this slot that sometimes we charge our to-do list with too many things that is not necessary to do. At least it's not urgent, not important. Don't add value to the main things that you have to achieve. And probably you can put into the next week, the next month, the next 6 months, depends of you. And probably at the end of the day, you're gonna delete this and don't wanna do that. And this is the best way to make a space in your agenda. Deleting everything that is not important and is not urgent. So then when you have a completely idea about what is important, what is the important and urgent, the not urgent and important, what is the not important and but urgent, but what is the not urgent and not important, you can organize into a different table, different tools. For example, you can organize but the prioritization level, or if you want to go to the next level, categorize. For example, by projects or by topics. For example, personal life, work environment, meetings, friends. It's very common in calendars. And with that, it's like, okay, I made this task management completely, but it's not just putting there and forget that and never go back again. No, the idea is you're always going back and review regularly. And this is important because you need to switch all the time. If any change in your daily life that's happened usually for everyone, if something new happen, be able to change and modify quickly. So it's a tool for constantly feedback and updating. And the last one is very important. Engage, trust in the plan that you made. Trust in that and go forward. Don't be scared because if anything happen, you can change. You can update, you can optimize, you can erase, you can go back again to organize, to clarify, or add new task. But if you have a line of work like a methodology, a process for yourself, for your organization, trust in that and keep on this track. So the next one is a tool that I would like to share because I use a lot is the Kanban board. Why? Because it's graphic. Because you can use a table board or you can use a tool, digital tool to do it. In the times before COVID, when everyone's have to go to the office, it's very, very useful to have a Kanban board with the list of tasks we have to do, we are doing, or we are done, achieve. But on these times, everything is become virtual, digital. So we can keep doing that. We can use different tools for show to the team using the same board what is necessary to do, what we are doing, and what is done. The key of this tool is beyond about the beauty and the visual. Is understand a concept called work in progress limit. That's the key of the Kanban. And that means how many tasks you can do at the same time. And you need to ask yourself, what is my max capability of tasks that I can do at the same time? I'm gonna be honest with you. In my case, it's only two. I don't do any more than two tasks at the same time. And maybe it's lazy, but that's work for me. That's really work for me. And I don't feel bad because of that. I can I don't have to deal with too many tasks at the same time. I have my to-do list. I have my prioritization structure, and based on that, I am focused on what I'm doing right now. And in this way, I can deploy so many tasks because I focus all my energy in only two tasks. So my flow is quite fast. So it's very, very good for keep your mind clear. Also for delivering tasks that you already done. So it's very, very good for your personal motivation and also for the team motivation too. So yeah, this is the key. I encourage you to define what is your work in progress limit, understand very well your capabilities and work based on that, especially during your daily work. So that's the key, the most beautiful, the Kanban board. But you need to add another point into this equation. Relaxing time, free time. I love this Pomodoro technique and the Pomodoro concept. 25 minutes working, 5 minutes resting. This is a general idea, but you can adjust it as you choose, as you wish. The idea is have time for resting, have time for doing another thing, make time for stretching, make time for taking with someone else, or also take time for scrolling. Why not? Keep this gift to your brain for scrolling and chatting with friends. But during these 25 minutes, 40 minutes, 1 hour, you're going to keep concentrated doing what you need to do. And you create an inner habit to be more organized and be more, just be more, we'll say, organized in your mind. The last one of the techniques is time blocking. It's very, very useful blocking your agenda and the daily agenda block of times for different tasks or projects that you have to do. For example, 1 hour during the day to answer emails, to answer calls, or for calling, or for answering WhatsApps. 2 hours of the day for making the same project during the same week, or what range of hours for meetings. This is not only for your personal organization. This is also for your brain. Your brain. It's going to be very, very helpful to create habits, sustainable habits during the time. The next one is self-care and productivity. Okay, sorry, pardon. Communication and delegation. And that's what we're talking about that before. And it's very, very important, especially when you have to face too many projects, too many things to do at the same time. The first of all is understand your capabilities, your work in progress, and communicate with clarity with the rest of your team. Say, that's my capabilities, that's what I can do. And then the rest of the group can understand I'm going to use this information to provide you yes or no new tasks or new delegations. And also, you can delegate. This is a very good way to encourage your team to make leadership and be more enrolled with the projects. So one of the keys to make more time in your agenda is delegate. Simple like that. And the last one is prepare for the unexpected. You can create the perfect schedule, the perfect program, the perfect calendar, the perfect plan, but unexpected things happen all the time. So you have to be prepared. You always need to make time in your agenda. You need to have time to cover these unexpected things that happen. Never forget that. Always make a space. And you have to make a decision at this point. You have to resign to some plans, maybe, or you have to share many things your agenda during the week. It's up to you. So the next topic is how Gen I become as a digital assistant. And I would like to introduce this concept to everyone, that Gen I came to change the world. And it's going to change in a ways that we can imagine. But so far, we have the technology to talk with them, to talk with tools like ChatGPT, using the human-like voice conversations, like a human. We can use Meta from Facebook. We can use Gemini from Google, Anthropic, so many Gen I tools. You can use whatever of them. Every one of them can hear your voice and transform this into text to create a prompt and give you an answer. So instead of typing your queries, your questions, just talk to him, talk to this tool. It's faster, and sometimes you can add more details that this Gen I tool gonna use for give you a more precise feedback. And this is the key on this. Let's go back to these techniques about getting things done. For example, capture the information. Instead of making a to-do list, tell to this tool, hey, I have to do this, I have to do this. So I tell them 20 tasks to do. And one of them, I have a due time, I have a certain priority, I have a certain information. Maybe I'm not sure about what is the prioritization about this task, but I have some idea about what is happening. And I can say all of this information like a personal assistant that's working for you. And with all this information, feel free to share. They're going to give you a feedback. And this is the key for do this clarification and prioritization. Is you tell after telling, hey, I have this a bunch of tools of tasks to do. I need to clarify to define what is important, what is urgent, what is not urgent, basic of the Eisenhower matrix, whatever or other that you want to use. They're gonna do it's gonna do it. It's gonna show you what is the prioritize. And if you want to be more precise, deal with tool like a human. Ask them if you need more questions to understand very well the context of this task. Ask me the questions, and you're gonna answer to give more details. This is a really good way to clear your mind about the all bunch of things that you have to do, and let the technology give you a solution to organize, prioritize, delegate, and do it quickly, because you can spend and completely day organizing your daily week. That is not efficient. So use the technology. You don't want to waste more than 10 minutes, 15 minutes doing this for sure. And also you can add more tasks for the next weeks to the same chat, and they're gonna give you more continuous feedback to organize. So at the end, you're gonna have this exactly like this, provided by generative AI. And this is amazing, especially for me as a project manager. It's like, wow. With that, I don't have. I remember I spent a lot of time planning projects. Now I just have to tell them this is what we need to do. Well, this is the due times. This is the dates, the critical path, and they organize those information for sure much better than me in the majority of case. So yeah, I give this information, I receive this, and then I'm gonna use all this text and copy to a project management tool, any Todoist tool, whatever you're using, even Google Calendar. You can tell them, hey, I need to organize all this information for create events in my calendar. And then you're gonna copy paste very easily. You can ask whatever you want. And I want to show you this image. This is from the movie Hair in 2013. It's about uh, a augmented reality game, but the difference is you can interact with him. When Joaquin Phoenix is talking with him, it's like talking like a human, very human interaction. And this moment was for me was like, wow, I want to experience that someday in my life. And now in 2024, we have this possibility. And that's amazing. And that's gonna improve. That's gonna improve for sure. Just like let's wait 2 3 weeks, 1 month, you're gonna see too many change in how the general AI are capable to do. So, just to finalize, I want to introduce what is this visual time management tools that we can use. Okay, we have all this organization, all these tasks, well, perfectly organized. So where I can put this information to organize my personal life or my personal projects or my professional life. So one of them is Monday. but works exactly like other tools like Jira or other or smart sheets or whatever. The concept is the same and it's simple. You have a to-do list, you have prioritizations, you have due dates, and you can add all the information that you want. But at the same time, when you have this to-do list, you automatically have a Gantt. So that's impressive. I like this because for project management and for personal life, I don't have to manage different tools or different like Microsoft project tools that I have to put the list and detail the information to and then create the Kanban by manual. Those can do it by itself. You can create a perfect, well done Kanban, Gantt with a to-do list, very precise. And also the best of the best is that you can create by itself a Kanban. So you can have a bunch of tools that you can use for time management and task management or be productive and also see in person in real time and in a graphic way what is the work to do. And even you can have a calendar for that with the same information, but different ways to see it, different ways to manage. And it can connect to Google Calendar, to Microsoft, to Google, to whatever you are using in your organization, it's possible to connect. So I encourage you to use these kind of tools. Majority of them are free. Of course, if you need to use it for your organization, if you want to implement that, you have to pay. But the cost benefit, especially for management, is very, very, really, really worth it. So yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your time. I am Fernando Vidal. You can see this is my email if you want to reach me for any questions. Also my LinkedIn if you want to add me. And if you have any questions so far, I am free to answer.